Hey, I'm Jess Hugo, personal trainer and nutritionist, and I am here to show you that life is messy, but we're doing it anyway. Welcome to Doing It Anyway, the podcast for building the life that you want without burning out. Let's get into it. So you went all in?
Oh,
you got a part-time job?
I got a part-time job. So I started working at a gym and my thought process behind that was I like the fitness environment and I wanted to work with fitness coaches. So I'm like, oh, this kind of makes sense. I'm going to be with like-minded people. I'm going to get like a feel for like what the coaches do and the PTs do and stuff. And I just started working at a gym and I worked there for, it's probably like a year, maybe a year, 18 months. And it was good, but it like required a lot at the same time for just a reception role. It was very... Once the manager realized how confident I was, and that's not just to like blow smoke up my own ass. I come from corporate, so like it was just like I was efficient. I just ticked the boxes. She would want me to do this. She want me to do that. And she want me to do this. Then they were like, oh, maybe you can run the socials. And one of the girls was like, don't say yes to that. She's like, why would you run socials for $29 an hour when you have people paying you a shit ton of money? And I was like, yep, valid. That's so true. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
So it was good as a buffer, but then, yeah, it was like the hours, they'd be like, oh, because she liked me. She was like, I'll put you on more hours, which at the time I was like, oh, great, more money. Like, that's so good, more security, whatever. But then it meant that the business stuff, I wasn't putting time into growing the business. I was just maintaining my clientele.
Yes.
So it kind of kept me stuck. And then I competed in that time and I got to the end of my show and the day after my show, I was like, I'm leaving that job. I don't know what.
I was going to say, she steps on stage and has the realization like, fuck this.
Literally what it was. I was in the Gold Coast on my balcony. Jared and our best mate had gone home and I was still there for a couple of days and I'm like looking at the view and I'm like, oh my God, this is so nice. Like having my breakfast. And I was like, I'm not working that job. This is fucked. Like I am spending so much time and energy in that and not doing what I need to do.
Yep.
And then I called my mum, as I do, my accountant and my mum. And I'm like, this is what I want to do. What do you think? And she was like, nope, that makes a lot of sense. And then she was like, if you need hours, you can just come and work for me.
Oh my God, love that.
Yeah. She was like, she had an employee that she had to fire. And she was like, so I kind of need the help. And I was like, oh, fab. And like I've worked for her literally, I don't even know, since I was like maybe 12 on and off. I knew everything for her business. And then she was like, yeah, if you need the hours, we'll do it. I was like, cool, I probably need like 10 hours a week. She's like, yep, done, that's fine. And that's what we did. But then, yeah, I sent in my resignation for a casual job. And then they tried to like gaslight me into, oh, it's because you just competed. And I'm like, no.
What, like they were thinking that you're super emotional and weird?
Yeah, the manager was, don't get me wrong, the manager is lovely, but the toxicity of the upper management definitely like played with her.
Yeah.
And it was just this whole thing of like, no, you don't really want to leave. And I was like, yeah, actually I do because my business is the focus.
Yeah.
Then I like walked in to train a few days later and she was like, well, what can I do to get you to stay? And one of the boys was like, give her more money.
Oh
and I was like, true. She's like, I can't do that. And I was like, well, then I got to leave. Sorry.
I feel like that's the definition as well of like your environment really matters. Because why do you go to Queensland and you're like, I'm moving here. I'm changing my whole life.
Literally.
I literally, even like when I saute in the Sunshine Coast, I'm like, should I just move here?
Yeah, honestly, something about like just being in the sun and up there. And I'm like, oh, it's such a good lifestyle. That's honestly, that's why we live in Wollongong, because we wanted that like relaxed, laid back in the sun at the beach lifestyle without all the people in the Gold Coast.
Yeah, that's why I kind of like the Sunshine Coast. But like everywhere there,
lucky.
I mean, everywhere is busy now.
Yeah, that's true.
But you just touched on bodybuilding, so now you have to tell us everything. What made you want to compete?
Okay. I don't have a very strong why.
You don't need to. I feel like people in the industry really like gaslight you into being like, that's not strong enough. If I just want to get on stage and look hot, so be it.
So that's my whole thing. I'm like, every time someone's like, oh, your why is what keeps you going in prep. I'm like, my why is I value the personal development aspect of like, how hard can I push my body? How hard can I push my mind? Can I stretch my capacity to do more, hold more?
Yeah.
But that to me is not a strong enough why that if I had a shit day in prep to be like, I'm just going to push through because this why is important. It's like, obviously I'm going to push through because
that's what disciplined people do.
That's how my brain is wired. Yeah. But it's not this thing of like, if I'm struggling, that's not propelling me forward. I'm just like, see ya, I'm out. Do you know? But the reason I did the first show was my best friend competed. So she was my fitness coach at the time.
Right.
She's my Pilates instructor, fitness coach. she competed and I watched her win her pro card with, it was WBFF at the time. And I was like, wow, she looks amazing up there. That's so cool. I would love to do that one day. Just one day. It was a future thing. And she was like, oh my God, it was so much fun. I messaged her. She was like, yeah, it was so great. This, that, the other, whatever. And then maybe like 6 months later, it must have been. No, must have been more than that. I don't know. She closed down her fitness business and she pivoted to another business. And I was like, oh, I need to do a fitness coach. So I just went to her coach at the time. And then when we got closer to the show that I did, we were like 22 weeks out and I was like, yeah, one day. And the coach at the time knew about it. And then he messaged me a couple of weeks prior to prep starting and was like, do you want to do the November show or October, whatever it was? And I was like, oh, yeah, maybe. And I was like, I must be in an all right position if like he reckons I can do it. And then I was like, let me talk to Jared, look at finances, whatever. And I came back the next day and I was like, yep, let's do it. And that's sort of just how I decided to do my first show.
I think it's so funny because nowadays lots of people have a fitness business, so they want to like compete because it like propels their business forward. But you're like, yeah, so I'm just like starting my own marketing thing and I'm just going to jump
Completely
on stage
irrelevant.
randomly. I love that. But
It was relevant at the time though because I was trying to target fitness coaches. So it actually,
that's true, actually
did somewhat help my business in a way in terms of like exposure to the right audience. But yeah, it's completely different if I was a fitness coach and like, oh, I look so good and I got on stage and then I get my clients in that way. Yeah, completely irrelevant from that perspective.
That's funny. No, we were just talking off air about how it's like hard to balance it all and run the business, have the relationship, then do bodybuilding and stuff. And she dropped the other day, literally like 2 days ago, I'm killing my eyelashes. And you just out of nowhere. So I'm like quitting bodybuilding. I'm like, huh? Like we only just talked about bodybuilding like the day before. Yeah. So talk us through it. You came to the decision you're not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Well, I don't want to never say never, right?
Okay, yeah.
Because I do love getting on
This
stage.
is not touch wood.
No.
This is just like the season of life of hectic when it's on the back burner.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. So I feel like you almost, when you're in the space, you almost identify. It's like a part of your identity, right? So I, for so long, have been like, do I want to, do I not? Jared hears it probably like fucking 3 times a month. I don't think I want to bodybuild. He's like, all right, we're going through a phase again. Cool. Whatever. Like we're in a season. He gets it. He's like, you're stressed, you're busy, whatever. But like, yeah, the other week I was like, oh, you know what? I actually think it's not the right thing. It's not the right time for me and I want to do it. I spoke to my coach. I was like, look, I want to do it. It's not to say I won't. I just don't foresee it being, originally we wanted to do a show next year. Yeah. And I was like, I actually don't foresee that being a possibility and being able to come in really well, given that I'm not training properly right now. I train hard, but I don't train enough. And it's like nutrition's easy for me, but I don't get my steps. I am not doing cardio right now, mostly because I hate it. So I feel like trying to juggle a prep, which is at least the hours of a part-time job. It's like 21 hours a week if you think about it, plus 2 businesses. I just don't foresee it being, not that it needs to be easy, but I don't foresee it being a smooth ride.
Yeah, I think even for me, I will be like, I'm going to do my strength training session or whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay, I've got I've got this, I've got that. And then next minute I have like 5,000 steps, which it's not even a big deal for me. I'm just your everyday person. But I'm like, imagine if I then had to go on an hour walk or I then had to go on something else. Like I'm just already exhausted. You don't realize how tiring it is, like sitting at your desk all day. Like literally. Then you don't want to move anymore.
No, I have this conversation with my husband because he paints cars for a living and he's like, you just don't get it. Like I exert myself and you sit at a desk. I'm like, mentally draining is such a different level of like draining.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what it's like to work in a trade. It's probably really fucking hard. But I'm like, equally, so is my job.
Yeah, no, by the end of the day, I'm like, brain fog. You're trying to talk to me and I have no idea what you're saying.
Yeah. It's like it goes straight over my head.
Literally, I could not even be distracted and like my partner would talk to me and I'd just be like staring off into the abyss. Like, I don't know what's going on.
Sometimes he gets 2 extremes from me. He'll come home and it'll be like, because I'm like, I haven't spoken to anyone all day. Or he gets the other extreme where I'm just like mute and he's like, are you okay? I'm like, I just need to decompress.
No, this is like the chronicles of a business owner. You don't know which version you're going to fucking get. Some days I realize I haven't talked to anyone and I'm like, I have so much to say. No one in my family cares what I have to say. But I'm like, this fucking happened. And they're like, girl, what the fuck?
I call my mom. I FaceTime my mom every day because I'm like, she gets it because she's a business owner. But I'm also like, I need to talk to somebody because I've got no one to talk to.
And that is a wrap on another episode of Doing It Anyway. If you enjoyed today's episode, I would love for you to rate it 5 stars, share it with your friends, share it on your stories. And if you have any feedback, I would love to hear it. Please shoot me a DM on Instagram. All my links are below. See you in the next episode.